all their points in, get everything sorted out. So this is 3 months of hard work finally culminating in today's event. So I am super excited.
Yeah, I am also extremely excited. These are the pinnacles of everything that happens. Basically, what all the events that we have all build up to this on the Discord, and it really creates this this coming together of players and of staff members and of the moderation team, and making this amazing thing happen once a quarter, where everybody puts on their best, everybody puts their best into their deck, and they like it's a battle. It's such a good time, and I'm really glad that y'all are here with us.
Absolutely. So this will be again a really good one, and we got some spice today too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so we're still going through the player meeting here, but we will be starting up there. So just going over the top 8 for this event, we have in. I'll just go through. You can see the bracket kind of just behind me there. So we have Rax in first seed.
Yes.
Coming into this, and they are on Sneak and Show, which
Yes.
Rax has been a very prolific Sneak and Show player on this server. And Rax is the #1 seed here. Rax is on a mission. Rax has been in every single invitational except for I believe the second one.
Yep.
And
where they took a break. Yep.
Exactly. Yeah. They have something to prove here, and I think they have an excellent choice for trying to pull that off. Definitely.
Yeah. And I think Sneak and Show is a very good choice if I remember correctly. Last Invitational, Rax was also on Sneak and Show. I think. Am I correct there?
Rax was on Blue Red Delver last invitation.
Or Blue Red Delver. That's right. That's right. Rax was one of the Blue Red Delvers, but Rax has played Sneak and Show in the Invitationals before and has done extremely well. I think Sneak and Show is actually going to be something that's going to be well positioned here, especially with the format knowledge and the player base knowledge and the meta that we have going on with the Discord itself. I think Rax is going to be extremely well positioned and shows that being in the first seed as well.
Yeah, definitely. And of note with that, on the upper bracket, the seeding will carry forward. So as long as Rax doesn't lose a match, they will always be on the play all day, which is a huge boon.
Yes, absolutely. Especially being on Sneak and Show. That's a big thing, being on the play there.
Yeah, for sure. So it looks like we have Cosmic Coil's deck up on screen there.
Yes.
However, moving down the bracket still, we have in our second seed spot, the Eternally Surprised. So of note, Rax and Eternally were both second and third seed last season with Tensai in first. This season, Tensai took a couple months off there. So Tensai getting the auto invite will be in 8th, and we'll cover Tensai soon. However, Rax and Eternally are still neck and neck in terms of being at the upper echelons of play there. So Eternally, again, being on the play for the majority of this tournament, is on Mono Black World Gorger Dragon, which is going to be super sweet. And I actually think it's not going to be a bad choice for this.
No, I actually agree with you. And Mono Black World Gorger is something that we saw a couple months ago, just kind of like pop out of nowhere. Really actually kind of like come back to it, I guess I should say. It had been a bit since you saw this thing. It's a pretty awesome deck. I'm a huge fan of Mono Black Reanimator, so this having just World Gorger in there to do its thing is really, really awesome, and I'm actually really excited to watch this thing crush some people real fast. This is a heartbreaker, real fast.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, and then here we go again. Thank you for pulling up the bracket there to our wonderful stream tech. Mr. Jack Dax is going to be with us all day today. Thank you so much for all the hard work you do. We have in the third seed Socrates. So Socrates, this is Socrates' first invitational, and they've been absolutely crushing it with this Thassa's Lash deck. And for those who don't know, this is a Thassa's Oracle Thought Lash Jace Wielder of Mysteries. Basically draw on an empty library to win the game. So
and this is an extremely old tech. This is an old deck that has been around for a long time, but it's got some new toys that actually make it go really, really well, actually.
Yeah. Basically, this deck has functionally existed since Laboratory Maniac and Innistrad was printed.
Yep.
But it's definitely moving up now. In fourth seed here, we have Cosmic Coil. Cosmic Coil is a very prolific Bomberman player on this server. Artifact-based combo decks are absolutely Cosmic's jam.
Yeah, absolutely. Cosmic Coil has shown many times over and over that they know exactly what they need to do. They know exactly how long they have to push to go off. And that shows in all the Saturday events. that they take down. Cosmic Coil has been uh, a long time showing of a very very prolific player, and just the knowledge there is just substantial. So that'll be, and
Absolutely.
there's some new toys in this deck. I'm really interested to see go. So, and we will be able to see that starting off.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, definitely. In our fifth seed, we have Mr. Fringe. So Mr. Fringe is a painter player at heart. However, in this particular case, we are going to be playing blue-white control. So
yes,
I actually also think this deck is going to be fairly well positioned, given the fact that it is playing a fair game. There's a little bit of some wheels here and there, but it's not anything compared to what Malfi, who has won an invitational with us before, is playing, which is Hot Wheels, and his deck is all wheels all the time.
yes, yeah, absolutely. And it's really nice to have this like hard control deck that's kind of like jammed in the middle, because it allows it's basically like the police, right? It's there to make sure that there's always somebody that can control the board state, force you to do what it wants you to do. And this even has got some really interesting stuff. I'm really excited to see this go as well, with the dress down, the Days Undoing package, the Timeless Dragon, the Solitude. There's a lot here to unpack. So
Yeah, for sure. And then in 7th seed, we have Will0919, and Will has been playing on this server in our tournament since well before I even joined this server over a
yes,
year ago. So congratulations to Will on finally making it in here. He's running Reanimator today, and actually it's going to be Mono Black World Gorger versus Reanimator for the first round, so that's going to be super interesting there. But
it
I think
absolutely
Will
will.
has a good choice for this too.
Yeah, I agree. These like super fast combo decks that can actually do a little bit of grinding, I think are really well to do today, just because when you have a lot of those decks all doing the same thing, you get for some really exciting matches. You get those like super splashy, oh, I have to have an answer here or I lose. And then you get a lot of the back and forth exchanges that really grind, and that makes for some really exciting plays later on. I am really proud of Will for making it to the Invitational. Will has been on the server for longer than I have, and I have been on this server since almost its inception. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see Will play today.
Yeah.
I'm very very excited for that.
Jukawal, I do not believe that they are on the oh
They do not
goodness.
know.
I don't think that they are, but we'll double check
No,
here.
I'm
And
actually
then last and not
I'm looking at
least,
the list right here.
okay, last and not least, Tensai in our number 8 seed getting the auto invite from winning the last season, back-to-back invitational wins last time.
Yep.
Tensai, hilariously for his player fact, mentioned that he hasn't played Magic in 3 months. He needs to play a deck he knows. He's finally bringing his pet baby. He is bringing Esper Cephalid Breakfast with the Stoneblade package. I love it.
Yeah, this is gonna be the dark horse, because this is Tensai's bread and butter. This is what Tensai was known for many times over. This is gonna be brutal for those players that may not know exactly what's going on here. Cephalid Breakfast. This is really gonna be incredible. So
Yeah. And then, so that covers our top 8 here. Things are going to be great. So our first round that we're going to cover on feature is going to be Cosmic Coil versus Mr. Fringe.
yes. So this is going to be Bomberman versus Blue Eye Control, as we talked about earlier. Prez, going into this, Cosmic Coil. Let's see, Cosmic Coil is going to be on the play here.
Yeah. Cosmic Coil being the higher seed will be on the play.
Yep. So in terms of opening hands, what does Mr. Fringe want to have in their opening hand to really be able to prevent this Bomberman deck from going off?
So in this particular case here, I think if you're in Mr. Fringe's spot, you absolutely need some number of prismatic endings or force effects, because Bomberman is 100% a Chalice of the Void deck, and Chalice of the Void is what it wants to be doing all the time.
Yes. Yeah. It'll stick that Chalice of the Void, and it will ride that and prevent you from doing pretty much everything while it combos off behind it. So
Yeah.
that I think that would be a fair assessment, especially considering that Mr. Fringe's Blue Eye Control decks got 6 force effects right away in hand in main deck, and then does not play any others in the sideboard. Does play a little bit more interaction on the sideboard, though.
Yeah. Definitely. So this will be interesting to see how it goes. It looks like Fringe is mulliganing here.
Okay.
And then should be ready to go soon. Mm-hmm. So hopefully we can get rolling right away here. But yeah, this is definitely going to be a deck trying to combo off, and the other deck trying to stop them from comboing off.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly true. And I do like that this blue white control deck has some answers in terms of the Timeless Dragon and Solitudes. So it's got a decent threat package, even though being basically a hard control deck is what I would call this. I mean, it's changed quite a bit over the time. You've always had those like that threat that you wanted to stick, but I do think Solitude and Timeless Dragon are absolutely fantastic threats, especially for a control deck like this. Plus,
I actually really like
Wandering
Solitude
Emperor.
too, just by virtue of the fact that it is a way that gets through Chalice that's able to interrupt a Auriok Salvagers.
Yes, yeah, I totally agree. Completely agree. Yeah, that having a body and being able to have an answer as well is really, really hot. Wandering Emperor is something that I've not seen in a blue-white control deck. However, I've not seen a blue-white control deck since we actually got that set. But I think Wandering Emperor might be another really good card here as well. Only a one of in Mr. Fringe's deck. So
yeah. So Cosmic starting off on an Ancient Tomb and not having the Chalice of the Void there, interestingly enough. However, following up with the Cavern of Souls and casting a uncounterable Monastery Mentor, this is not what Fringe wants to see.
No. I definitely agree. This is going to be a Fringe Brainstorm. Is this at end step? I think it is at end step.
Yeah, I believe this is at end step. Unless Fringe is in a really tough spot here. Fringe did mulligan to 6. I imagine that this would be end of turn. But, and another thing too, this is exactly the kind of start that Cosmic Coil wants. Cosmic Coil doesn't want to be doing the, I am trying to go on the combo hand versus a control deck. If you have the ability to go Mentor here with all your baubles, your LEDs, your petals, you can even, like, you wouldn't Chalice on 0, but you could. And if you did, you're just triggering the Mentor and going as wide as possible.
Correct. I actually think this is a really, really smart start on Cosmic Coil side. I do agree with that. I think Fringe having mulligan down to 6, not playing a fetch lane here.
Was main phase.
This might actually be brutal. So
yeah,
this could be. Oh, we do see the Solitude as an answer for the Monastery. However, this Mr. Fringe has actually expended a lot of resources and could very well be stuck underneath this Brainstorm as well.
Yeah, and I actually really like just solituding right now. Fringe knows about how quickly this could get out of hand. Oh no, that was
awful. A Timeless Dragon.
Yeah, that was a Solitude pitch Timeless Dragon. Ow, there's 2 of your 5 threats gone.
And Cosmic Coil can sense the blood in the water right now. Mr. Fringe is down on cards, has expended two very, very important resources that it's going to need to win the game here. Maybe stuck underneath a Brainstorm. This could be it.
And exactly. And not only that, Cosmic also follows up with a Saga here. So it looks like Fringe does have the mana.
Yes, does have the mana. And there's going to be a Teferi.
Ooh, this is actually not bad. I imagine you just immediately downtick on the Saga here.
Yep. Bounce that back to hand. Absolutely.
Yeah. Stymie tempo, stymie mana development, and also make reduce pressure because now you're not making giant constructs.
Yes. Yep. And that also does, that time walk there is just fantastic for Mr. Fringe.
Yeah. Pay for Auriok Salvagers. Okay. Here we go.
Mr. Fringe does not have an answer to that, so.
No, and even if he did, it's uncounterable off of Cavern because the Cavern is the only white mana source in order to cast that card.
Done human, absolutely.
Yeah.
Auriok Salvagers being an important combo piece in the Bomberman deck. Really, really good to have this down. However, this does make it able to be taken out by a Swords or another Solitude as well.
Yeah. And
another main phase Brainstorm.
Interesting here. Okay.
I honestly think Mr. Fringe might be in a little bit of trouble here, being stuck underneath that first Brainstorm.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one there. These main phase Brainstorms without the fetches are probably a bit of an issue because, again, that first Brainstorm, those are all the same cards that have already been seen.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
All right,
there we go. We got a fetch.
There you go. Being locked underneath a Brainstorm can be an absolute horrible feeling in any format that you play a fetch land in.
So it looks like it's uptick on Teferi and pass.
Okay.
Yeah, attack.
Or probably you're getting it for the Teferi, I bet.
Yeah. I like that a lot.
Yeah, well, without an answer, this is going to take Teferi out, so.
Yeah.
And it does. Wow.
Oof. Okay, so that unlocks a lot of options for Cosmic here. That being
Yeah,
said, the one nice thing is that the Bomberman combo is not instant speed, so to say. It doesn't require all those interactions or anything to go on the stack.
correct. And Cosmic Quill
So,
plays the planes.
Ancient Den actually,
Oh, Ancient Den, you were correct.
which
Sorry,
is
I thought it.
relevant because if we go the construct route here, that land makes those constructs even bigger.
I thought it looks like one of the older planes.
Yeah.
The
No,
one with the
it's
lightning.
I'm not salty at all that they chose Ancient Den instead of Great Furnace for that slot in that set.
And,
I'm
and then I
not salty at all.
miscall it too.
Yeah.
It looks from my vantage point, it looks like the lightning planes almost.
Yeah. There you go. So it looks like we just play out the Ancient Den and pass back. So I imagine
Okay.
Cosmic is absolutely going to be making a construct here.
Oh, I would assume so as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You want to put as much to the board as you can.
Yeah.
At this position, because if your blue white control deck is kind of floundering and not doing much, they're I mean really in a bad spot, because I don't
Yeah.
think there are no
Ooh, AK.
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 There's no board wipes main deck on this. So
No, exactly. And that's just it, is that Fringe needs an answer to this right away, but at the same time, Fringe is also going to need an answer to the constructs that are coming in, because there's a
right.
construct that's going to be able to crash in right away here.
Oh, a second to fairy.
This is interesting. So do you bounce the Saga, the Salvagers, or... Because that's just it, is this Saga, A, is going to make a construct no matter what. B, it can make a second construct if it doesn't get bounced, and C, it'll also go find the Lion's Eye Diamond that Cosmic Coil needs to go off.
I would say, honestly, I think I downtick on the Saga.
Yeah. Or you could also downtick on the Salvagers if that was what you're into. But
True.
I do think, though, that the Saga is a better hit here.
Because of the fact, if Cosmic Coil is able to get that Lion's Eye Diamond, Salvagers allows it to be just absolutely abused. So
Yeah. And the other thing here, too, that's kind of nice, and it's, he did not downtick on the, or uptick on the Teferi this turn, so this also exposes the construct to a prismatic ending if need be.
True. Very true.
So, yeah, we did bounce the Saga back to hand, which I think is really good. And passing the turn back, it looks like. Okay.
Well, this is unfortunately probably going to lose the Teferi again, but Mr. Fringe being behind has got to expend as much as they can just to keep Cosmic Coil from doing what they need to do. However, drawing a Lion's Eye Diamond right now would be absolutely devastating.
Yeah, exactly. And from the looks of it, Cosmic is holding a card in hand. Chaotic Bear, thank you so much for the resub.
Thank you.
Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Yeah, getting frisky with just the construct.
Just the construct, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose that yeah.
It's again, these are open deck lists.
Right.
And
you don't want to open yourself up to multiple answers.
Yeah. So interestingly enough, though, I'm kind of surprised that Cosmic didn't also attack with the Auriok Salvagers there. Well, just by virtue of, you know, that the Solitude cannot be cast and stay on the battlefield. And the other thing as well is that if there's a dress down, that construct just dies.
Right.
And Mox Diamond was the artifact for turn last time, so that construct did get bigger. We are at 3 artifacts right now. Saga's on 2. Oh, those beautiful altered planes. Oh my goodness.
Yes. Gurus.
Those are actually Portal 3 Kingdoms Japanese altered to look like gurus, planes, if I am correct. Smashing for 3 with the construct.
Again, not pushing the Auriok Salvager. Doesn't want to lose it to a flash threat, I'm assuming there.
Yeah. And this turn, I absolutely agree. Oh, we are going wide. Oh, yeah. Man. Cosmic Coil. Okay, Cosmic Coil, I don't think cares about the combo at all at this point. No. He's probably going to grab an LED off of this Saga if it pops just to go have it available. But I imagine that Cosmic is fully planning on winning via combat damage this game.
That will also allow you allowing the Saga to just go get your artifact also pumps your constructs as well. So
absolutely
twofold there.
Yeah, fetching up a red source here. Dave Kaplan, thank you so much for the follow.
Yeah, we appreciate that a ton. Welcome.
Yeah. So the Volks here now. So we're up to 3 colors here for the prismatic ending. So that actually allows us to prismatic ending the
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 Mist Monastery Mentor.
yes, thank you, the mentor, and which is good. However, that construct is still going to be absolutely gigantic. Looks like we're tapping the Mopal here. And what are we casting?
Or not.
So yeah, Prismatic Ending was
would
targeting
he,
the mentor.
what would he be casting right now? I don't
I'm
think
not
he has any.
entirely sure.
Other all that Cosmic Quill has is March of Otherworldly Light. So I'm assuming that would be the only thing right now that would be cast at instant speed.
Yeah, and that being said, it would allow you to make a monk token.
Yes. Which does give you another threat.
Yeah. Given that this is a Chalice of the Void deck, it is not rife with instants. So it looks like it's just going to eat it there. Cosmic Coil is going to save his resources.
Yeah.
And just let Fringe take it out and pass the turn. So Fringe is
Which makes
4
another
mana
construct.
untapped, but not a ton going on. And making another construct here.
Yep. That makes the
Okay,
voice bigger.
Yeah, draw a card. Tick up on the Saga. What's going to happen here? Make a third
Another
construct.
And
We
go
going
get
big.
Yep, definitely. I'm
Yeah.
assuming you are correct here. This is just going to be a free artifact, either a bauble or a LED.
Yeah.
Shadow Spirit.
I
maybe
don't
even,
see a reason
but-
why you wouldn't grab an LED here just because that you already have the salvagers.
Correct.
And it's
so you were able
basically
to
just
abuse it.
I still have my hand. If you answer all the things that matter in my hand, I'll
Yep.
just use the LED and start going infinite. Plus, this is a way to get the LED in uncounterable, which is huge.
Yes, that is very true. Getting in with 2 of the constructs, still holding the Auriac Salvagers back.
Yeah. 5.
that's
So this is an attack for 10.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. That's going to push Fringe to 3.
Yeah, Fringe is at
Oof.
3 now. Wow.
Interesting. Really needs to make something happen here. Otherwise,
Yeah.
this is going to be the end.
One, two, three,
They are
4,
6/6s, so
Oh, they're 6/6s. Oh, that was an attack for 12.
yeah.
I forgot
a
about
15.
the Ancient Den this time.
The lightning planes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
there's a
Walking Ballista?
That is
Oh, wow.
probably
That's a lot of damage.
that actually is. There
Yeah.
comes the Force of Will.
Yeah, tap. So use the Ancient Den, cast it for X's 3.
There comes the LED combo.
Yeah.
What's in hand?
2 March of Otherworldly Light, it looks like. Hilariously.
And there goes the scoop. Okay, because that
Yeah.
ultimately there was had to force it there or cast the Force of Will to stop it, but with Auriac Salvagers and the LED, it just makes it infinite and can get that Walking Ballista.
Yeah,
back
absolutely.
onto
You
the
just make
graveyard,
infinite
so.
mana, get the Walking Ballista back, play a 1000 Walking Ballista, kill them, and then repeat the process if it failed the first time.
Yep, absolutely. So let's talk about sideboards. Let's start off with Mr. Fringe. So Mr. Fringe we saw Mr. Fringe get stuck behind a brainstorm there, and also had to mulligan to 6. So looking at sideboards, Mr. Fringe has got a Flusterstorm, a Grafdigger's Cage, a Meltdown, another Prismatic Ending, 2 Pyroblast and 2 Rebs, Red Elemental Blast, 3 Surgical Extractions, 2 Back to Basics, and 2 Supreme Verdicts. Prez, if you were sitting in Mr. Fringe's seat, what would be the first few cards that you'd be grabbing onto your sideboard?
I would absolutely be grabbing the 4th Prismatic Ending. I'd be grabbing the Meltdown. I would also... So, Surgical, I understand the value of in this deck, given it's a graveyard-based combo deck. However, the problem is that with the chalices being such a huge point, you kind of don't want to load up on 1s for the most part.
Yeah.
Which is the good thing about PE and Meltdown is the fact that they can both bypass a Chalice of the Void.
Very true.
In addition to that, I think Back to Basics is really good, if for no other reason than you only get 1 Saga construct rather than 2.
Yes, I think it also takes care of the Ancient Tomb. It takes care of the Cavern of Souls. It hits a lot here. It does hit a lot here.
Absolutely. And I could see value in Supreme Verdict as well. However, I don't know if it's quite fast enough, given that it's sorcery speed. Although with a Teferi uptick, being able to cast Supreme Verdict with Flash is really, really strong.
I do agree. However, with the way Cosmic Coil battled last game, I would find it hard pressed that Cosmic Coil would push for another creature win, especially with them having Supreme Verdicts in their grave or in their sideboard. So we may see maybe a push for or a mulligan for a more aggressive hand there. But I do agree with you. Meltdown is absolutely premium. Prismatic Ending, absolutely premium. I do like Back to Basics also, a little bit slower. But if you can stick a Back to Basics, you can shut down a lot.
Yeah, exactly. And then 2 Supreme Verdicts, I think, could go there as well.
Yeah.
As far as what to cut, I'm not entirely sure how you want to be winning in this case. I could see cutting the Narsets and the Days Undoing if
Yep.
that is something that you're looking at. Dress Down is just fantastic here, given that it kills all the constructs.
Yes.
Wandering Emperor, that one might actually be a little bit too slow, but
Hmm.
I suppose we will find out here.
Yeah,
But
I do agree with you. I think the Narset Days Undoing package is cute, but in this kind of deck, it doesn't really draw a bunch of cards. That Narset's going to do nothing unless you have the one of Days Undoing. So,
yeah, for sure. In Cosmic Coil's sideboard, right over here, we got the 4th Lion's Eye Diamond, 1 Tormod's Crypt, another Walking Ballista, 3 copies of Swords to Plowshares here, 2 Containment Priests, 2 Ethersworn Canonist, 1 Liquid Metal Coating, 1 Torpor Orb, 1 Unlicensed Hearse. That card's sweet.
that
1
is very
Ensnaring
sweet.
Bridge, and a Mycosynth Lattice.
This being a Karn deck, I think you're not going to be playing a whole lot. I think the Aethersworn Canonist, I think, would be the biggest thing that I would pull in.
Yeah, probably.
And I think the rest of that, I honestly think I leave just for the Karn Wish board. I think I still like the Karn Wish board being here against a Blue Eye Control deck, because it allows you access to just way more cards than what your opponent has.
Yeah.
How about you, Prez?
So the artifact cards, specifically the Lion's Eye Diamond, Ballista, Crypt, or stuff like that, are all things you'd normally want to wish for with Karn. I could potentially see you wanting to bring in the Torpor Orb, maybe. Actually, with 4 Karn the Great Creators, it's better to leave the 1 of Torpor Orb in the sideboard.
Yeah, that way you have it if you need it against your opponent. You have 4 copies of it rather than just the one. That makes total sense.
Yeah. I could see bringing in the 1 of the 2 Ethersworn Canonists, though, given that way you have 1 in your main deck, and also 1 you can wish for with a Karn.
I do agree with that. I like the fact that you can wish for Aethersworn Canonist with Karn. That's such a awesome interaction, and that gives these artifact based decks just another angle to which to attack on, or to I shouldn't say attack on, but to defend themselves on, and that you can wish for and have that copy there. I like that a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Nick in chat says seeing accumulated knowledge here makes me happy. Absolutely.
Fringe was agonizing over which deck to play, and he's just like, I really want to play something with accumulated knowledge in it.
I don't blame you. AK is one of those cards that we have seen for a long time, and we've seen it go away, and we've seen it come back, and we've seen it go away, and now we have a new AK that doesn't affect your opponent can't benefit off, but nobody plays it. So
exactly.
I think we all just liked the fact that, hey, our opponent may be able to. It's like the gamble, right?
Yeah.
If my opponent just happens to have AKs, then wait, I get to benefit off theirs as well. So
exactly, yeah. It's a little bit worse for you given that your opponent gets to draw cards, but their AKs add to yours, so you get to AK for 5 or 6, which feels really good.
Yeah, absolutely. There was some amazing games there. But yeah, Mr. Fringe is going to lead this off, both keeping 7. It looks like here.
Sounds like
go.
Sounds like Fringe kept a 7 and Cosmic kept an iffy 7. So we'll see how this goes.
Okay.
Casting Shadow Spear right away. I actually like that a lot.
I do too. It gets it on the board, and now you have that little bit of oomph that you need at any given time if you have it, and you don't have to seek it out later on. So
yeah. So this is also the exact scenario where the constructs become very powerful. Ooh.
There's a chalice on one.
This is good.
Is it going to
resolves? Oh
no. Oh wow.
Uh-oh.
That might be devastating.
Yeah.
That shuts off all the construct or all the cantrips. It shuts off except for AK.
Except for AK.
Yeah, it shuts off Swords to Plowshares. That is brutal.
Yeah.
There will be
Of note, this is exactly the reason why I was saying Fringe needs support in the 4th Prismatic inning.
That is very true. That or a Teferi could take care of it as well, if need be.
Yeah, there are answers, but it's just, does Fringe have them on hand?
Yeah. Another fetch. Goes to 18. Trying to develop the mana here.
Yeah. And I also like Cosmic. I don't know if Cosmic had a Ancient Tomb in hand or not, but I really like the putting it the Shadow Spear out before the Chalice of the Void. And
I agree.
Also, if you're in Fringe's spot, I would not feel bad at all about firing off a PE on that Shadow Spear. So I wonder if Cosmic was actually hoping for that.
Also, we are, if Fringe did bring in the back to basics, we are within back to basics territory as well. Did go get their one of Snow Covered Mountain just to have their 3 colors, so there may be a back to basics in hand.
Yeah, which is very possible. I actually think back to basics here would be great.
Yeah, it shuts off. I mean, stifles half of Cosmic Quell's mana. So
Yeah. And not only that, but we also don't know what the rest of Cosmic's hand looks like.
very
There's the
true.
back to
And there it
basics.
is. There we go.
Perfect. Okay, so this is actually where Fringe exactly wants to be now, because Cosmic Coil is really hurting on lands, and all the upcoming lands are one use only, except for if Cosmic is able to get one of the planes, which I believe there are 4 of them in the deck.
AK, okay, interesting. So Cosmic Quell fires off the bauble, passes turn. We see that Fringe is going to be drawing an AK, which is going to draw them some cards here. That is going to be the one cantrip that gets around. The
Chalice of the Void.
The Chalice of the Void. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Fetch. So I will say this. I mean, Mr. Fringe has got quite the robust selection of basics here. So really not in any trouble being able to develop their mana.
Yeah, absolutely. Play through this back to basics with no harm at all.
Yeah, and only three duels in the blue-eye control deck, 2 Tundras and a Volk. So this should be this should go very, very well for Mr. Fringe.
Yeah, being able Jace the Mind Sculptor.
There we go. Being able to slow the game down. Here comes Jace. We haven't seen, some people haven't seen Jace in a long time. Jace doing Jace things is going to brainstorm.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if this brainstorm is actually going to be because beneficial. Fringe needs cards and has brainstorms in hand and needs to get rid of them, right, or what exactly is going on. But I know if I was in this particular position with Cosmic being stymied on mana to this degree, I would probably immediately start uptaking Fate Sealing Cosmic.
Yeah, I actually thought of that as well, because you're in a position where the faster you can go,
especially given that there's pressure here now.
Yes, exactly. You could be next turn. Mr. Fringe could have been sitting on a 7 loyalty Jace, and Cosmic Coil has no answer and has to wait an entire another turn to be able to can't even make a construct next at end step or at next turn unless they draw a basic or
unless they draw a untapped mana source, and then because if you draw an Ancient Tomb, I'd actually totally spend it to make the construct here, because what that construct will do is it will actually, even if Fringe did uptick there, it would allow Cosmic to make a 4/4 construct, equip the Shadow Spear to it, and then be able to attack for 5, and then you have this gigantic 5/5 lifelinking Trampler, and you have to deal with that, which I'm sure Fringe has an answer, but it's still something you have to deal with, and I'm sure Fringe would rather not.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Flooded Strand number 2. I imagine when this one gets cracked, it will be going to get a basic planes.
I would assume so too, just to keep yourself that you've got your mana to cast Solitude. Then you've got your double white for Timeless Dragon. I mean, you've got everything you could possibly want here.
Yeah. And this blue-eye control deck's looking actually really good right now.
Yeah, I do like this. That's back to basics. I really think is going to be the linchpin that just kind of like locks us down here.
Yeah. So now here's the thing: is does Cosmic actually have another land here to go make a construct? Because if not,
even a Mox Opal would do them just fine as well.
Yeah.
There's going to be an end of turn AK.
I like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think if you're in
another
second AK, that's so good.
That is drawing. Mr. Fringe is drawing all the cards here.
Yeah. Of note here, this Saga, I would almost put money on it, is going to go and get a.
Those were all brainstorm cards. -1. There was no crack of a fetch, so those were all brainstorm cards that Mr. Fringe drew.
Oh wow!
Which means Mr. Fringe's hand is stacked.
Yeah,
there is nothing
more than likely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And there's a fire that needs to be stoked here. It looks like we've got a little bit of a invitational update as well. Wow, Rax versus Tensai. Rax loses against Tensai 0-2. Wow. Cephalid Breakfast versus Sneakin' Show.
Yeah, that's wild. And again, Tensai, pulling the I haven't played in 3 months. I need to go play with what I know. And
on Mr. Fringe's board, we do see a 3 fairy, which does bounce the Saga. which, because of the fact that Cosmic Coil was not able to play another land, this puts them maybe back even further. So this could be absolutely devastating here. As long as Mr.
Absolutely.
Fringe can put a threat down or can start upticking this Jace, this game could be really close to over.
Yeah, absolutely. And
And just
Cosmic immediately scoops it up.
yeah. You want to watch your time as much as possible. So that back to basics, I really think did some good. And we also didn't see what Cosmic Quill's the texture of their hand as well. So they could have not drawn any lands, because you would think if they would have drawn a land, they would have played it to be able to make a construct to defend themselves. So
Yeah. As far as the other matches as well, Cosmic Coil, Mr. Fringe has leveled out. Socrates versus Malfi. Malfi is currently up a game over Socrates. And then in our graveyard mirror, Eternally Surprised is up a game over Will right now.
Yeah. So the World Gorger Dragon Reanimator deck was able to take out the actual Reanimator deck.
Yes.
Interesting.
And that is very much so a 2 ships passing in the night who has faster cannon fire.
Very much. Cosmic Coil did make note. Wasn't even the back to basics. I just couldn't hit lands. See, and that just is how it goes. However, that even with that, if they were able to hit a couple lands, that back to basics would have done very good work. So
apparently, Eternally won his first game versus Will by stealing Will's Grizzlebrand from his graveyard.
Oh no! I will say, so being like my mono black reanimator deck is like my budget legacy deck, and it being able to steal your opponent's creatures that they put in your graveyard, especially if they don't know that you are also a reanimator deck, is hilarious.
Yeah,
is absolutely hilarious. And if you're not very versed as a reanimator player, that can be absolutely devastating. When you look at your hand and you're like, keep this 7, yeah baby, I've got Grizzlebrand, and you put it in your graveyard and you pass, and then they're just like, oh, reanimate.
Yeah. Well, okay. I don't need to do all the fancy stuff now, just blank.
Yeah, it basically blanks your hand. It absolutely blanks your hand. So
yeah.
So yeah, going into this, we saw Mr. Fringe's game plan really actually be able to unfold there and be successful. Going back to sideboards again, Cosmic Coil's side, we didn't really get to see anything. Do you think that the Aethersworn Cannons came in there, Prez, or do you think there's going to be a change?
I think again, me as a shortcake player, Aethersworn Cannons is very good because it means that if your opponent tries, especially as an artifact-based combo deck, if your opponent tries to cast something, they can't cast other things. So if it's like, I'm gonna cast this, Force of Will. Okay, cool. I'm gonna take my free turn to go and cast all this other stuff.
Right.
And it's kind of force check in a way.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. Rags in chat says match against Tensai wasn't close. He got me game 1 through a turn 2 Grizzlebrand with force backup. Tensai's unbeatable. Tensai is the end boss. Confirmed, Rags.
Yeah.
Well, Rax, thank you so much for all your hard work in getting here. You are still in it, though, and we are proud to and happy to see you here. So,
of that note, this is double elimination. You have to lose
double elimination
in order to be out. So everyone, I don't know if you remember seeing the bracket there. Everyone on the top is still going to be playing in their seeds. Once you lose, you move down to the lower bracket, and you will be flipped, so that way there's less rematches. Yes. And then you will continue to go up. So the last round will be the winner of the upper bracket versus the winner of the lower bracket. And then they will be playing for the grand finals with potential for a bracket reset. So, Cosmic's on a good start here.
Going ham. Chalice on 1, turn 1, through Bauble, Mox Opal, and an Ancient Den. Does Fringe have an answer?
That's a good turn 1.
That's a very good turn 1. By the way, both players kept their hands of 7 here.
Yeah, and it
resolves. Oh, and there goes the Bauble crack.
Yeah, immediately Bauble.
What a heartbreak! What heartbreak!
Ow!
Oh no! Oh man, I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say to that. Mr. Fringe played the Flooded Strand, passes back.
Chalice
Another Chalice.
Again. I like this. Having the backup Chalice.
I do too. Go ahead, spend your force. Nope, it resolves.
Yeah. And the thing here, though, is of note, Meltdown is extremely powerful here. However, so this is where the prismatic ending is kind of bad because you want to save, like you're fine spending 1 PE on a Chalice. You kind of don't want to spend multiples on it.
Especially if we're on the same page here. That
is Fringe discarding to hand size?
No way. Fringe is stuck on lands. Oh, there goes a Jace. Oh, this is rough. This is so rough. And there's no cantrips that are. Oh my lord!
Let's go meltdown.
Yeah, this is meltdown or bust. I mean, this is literally it.
Wow, 3 Chalice of the Voids.
Yeah. Tell me you've
Cosmic
played
Coil,
against,
let me organize these.
tell me you've played against Prismatic Ending without telling me you played against Prismatic Ending. Look at that.
Yeah,
3 Chalice on
absolutely.
ones. All right,
Yeah.
Mr. Fringe double cracks, goes to 18. It's got some mana here. Gonna get a Volk.
Okay, so we are not on the back to basics draw this time. So this actually says to me this is a meltdown.
I would agree with you, or at least threatening the meltdown.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cosmic Coil is not a wasteland deck, so he doesn't
would
actually have to
absolutely-
worry about getting turned off in
And
that
I would-
regard.
And only going to get a plains. I would get a Tundra here, I guess. I don't see how I'm punished there unless I have back to basics for some reason that I'm still holding out on.
Yeah, for sure. And another thing here too, this meltdown will be absolutely devastating if this is actually what Fringe has, because that's going to clear out the Mox Opal, the Ancient Den, and all 3 Chalices.
Yeah,
Cosmic Coil will literally go down to a basic plains.
Yeah, this will reverse all of Cosmic Coil's first 3 turns, and there it is.
Oh,
wow!
We in this baby.
Wow! This is wow.
Yeah. That's probably not where Fringe wanted to use it, but I would not complain at all about getting that done.
Lotus Petal Pass.
Yeah.
Wow. And there's the island. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so it looks like Fringe is back in this game.
Fringe could also have could have had a Tundra in hand, and that could be why not fetched for. However, not playing a second land there, I would think they probably did not. But
yeah, Rax and Nick, I absolutely agree. That meltdown was devastating.
Yes, absolutely.
I play a deck that is weak to meltdown. That was the best meltdown I've ever seen.
I play a deck with 3 meltdowns in it. That was a really good meltdown.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet Ponder.
Yep. Yeah,
being locked behind
the cantrips.
Right, being locked behind 3 Chalice of the Voids. I'm sure that's just like Thanksgiving dinner. Loosen the belt. Here we go.
Yeah. Pay 4.
Oh.
Is this a salvagers?
It is
Karn
a
the
Karn.
Great Creator.
Okay.
Ooh.
Although
We
you know,
do
Mr.
know
Fringe
that
has
there
got
is a force of
in
will.
hand. Yeah.
We do know about the force of will.
Does
Fringe
it
is
resolve?
thinking hard.
I bet. Because this could very quickly reverse everything that was done with the Karn Wishboard, especially considering Mr. Fringe has no threat yet.
Yeah, exactly. And force of negation here. Okay. I don't mind that. Pitching to fairy. That's actually not bad.
And there is still a force of will in hand too. So
yeah. And I like keeping the force of will specifically because Auriok Salvagers is a way for you to just instantly lose out of nowhere.
Mr. Fringe just like with all the mana now.
Yeah. That was pretty good. To be fair, though, he's also, seen the ponder, kept the cards. Okay, we have a lot of mana on Cosmic Coil's side.
Yes.
Back to basics would be very strong here now.
Very, very true. However, I don't think Cosmic Coil's got much in hand. I think they're down to maybe 1 card.
Yeah, it looks like there's 1 card left in hand here. I'm not exactly sure what it would be.
There's a Timeless Dragon.
We are plain cycling the Timeless Dragon.
Yep.
So the question is, do you get basic planes here, or do you get a Tundra here? Getting basic planes.
Nick says the 10-side deck list on the Google Doc is Cephalid Breakfast list. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, he's on the thing as Esper Stoneblade. He is absolutely Cephalid Breakfast with Stoneforge Mystics in it.
Yeah, 10-side is all about the mind games before matches.
Yeah. Yeah, his name right now on our server is Show and Tensai because he's played Show and Tell a lot at these events. He's always changed his name to a deck that he's never played before, which is funny. And last season he actually played the name in his played the deck that his name was Curse Tensai.
Oh, there's going to be an eternalized Timeless Dragon, and here's there's this there you see a March of Otherworldly Light. So
yeah. Oh yeah, able to exile
a
creature enchantment with mana value X or less. So
yeah, it's basically like a prismatic ending ish kind of.
Yeah. I really like that. If you're in Cosmic's position, you got to be happy that you can convert that on a threat that easily.
Yeah. I totally agree. Not a whole lot going on here. Mr. Fringe still sitting on an uncracked flooded strand, prismatic vista.
Yeah. And there's a second one there. So I imagine if you're in Fringe's position, you're just biding your time.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, Mr. Fringe did lose a Jace, did lose it to Fairy, now has lost their Timeless Dragon. So could have really did get rid of what they needed threat-wise to be able to finish a game off, or the tools they needed to finish the game off. Clearly drawing tons of mana here, so
Yeah. Tensai at work playing in off time there while apparently they're doing pest control at the office. Thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah, Tensai, we appreciate you being here. What do you, if you're in Cosmic Coil's position, what do you do? What do you look for?
I think that based on the way that Cosmic was tapping mana, I imagine that he's probably got a Monastery Mentor in hand. Oh, okay, so he's floating to casting. This is uncounterable. Okay,
yep, and
Monastery Mentor. This makes a lot more sense. And I imagine that Cosmic is doing this, and he's probably got a 0 mana artifact to follow up, I would imagine. Yeah, yep, trigger. There you go. Now I'm not going to get got by the Solitude that might be in hand. That's hard castable.
Now you can go ahead and Force of Will here. It doesn't matter, though.
Yeah. Yeah, you're getting the trigger, meaning there will be at least a monk left over.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Sounds like Fringe is in the tank on this one.
Oh, absolutely. Do you let the Bomberman deck have the LED, or do you not? What is the follow-up threat that you're afraid of?
Well, and that's just it, too, is there's another card in hand, too. If this is another...
0 mana
looks like it's just passed back. Okay. Not bad. That's about as well as it could have gone, I guess, if you're in Fringe's spot.
Nick says to qualify for the Invitational, it's based on the weekend tournaments and monthly leagues. Yes, 100%. Yeah, based off of how many points you accumulate through the Invitational season, Nick.
Yeah. Prismatic Ending X is 3.
Gets rid of the
Monastery Mentor. There you go.
Which I think at that point you're okay because you still have, they had to use one of their Prismatic Endings and you still have a monk, so.
Yeah.
And there's
Here we go. Salvager's uncounterable.
And you have an LED now.
Yeah. Hilariously, Mr. Fringe still has not cast that Force of Will we saw off the bauble on the first turn.
No.
So here's the thing. So now Cosmic Coil has the combo here. However, there is a known Force of Will, and also Cosmic needs a payoff.
Well, technically, this could be a win right here if there is no answer, just because you could combo off, cast your LED multiple times, which would trigger your monk.
Yeah, the issue is that Cosmic is tapped out, so if he cracks the LED for 3 mana, returns it to his hand, and it gets countered, he can't keep going.
Correct, yes.
If Cosmic had 1 more mana, he'd be able to get through the Force of Will.
Yeah.
So if you're in Fringe's spot, you want a Force of Negation here.
Yep.
Because that will put the LED into exile.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That is 100% it. Because all it takes is just 1 more turn. So Mr. Fringe really needs an answer for this monk. Otherwise, really needs an answer for the Auriok Salvager.
Yeah. Shuffle up. Looks like we fetched up a basic island.
Oh yeah. If we're going to be watching Cephalid Breakfast in next round.
Beautiful.
Malfi. So update to the Invitational rankings. Rax versus Tensai. We know that Rax lost. A heartbreaker there. 0-2. Cosmic Coil. This is the game we're watching right now. They're both tied at 1. Socrates versus Malfi. Malfi was able to steal both games from Socrates there. Wins out 2-0. And we're still with the Reanimator mirror-ish with cousin World Gorger Dragon. We're still at 1-0 for Eternally Surprised. So.
And Cosmic also plows the Salvagers there at end of turn, which is exactly what you want. Or sorry, Fringe plows the Salvagers at end of turn. So that turns the combo off. Back to basics. This is backbreaking.
This is absolutely backbreaking. If Mr. Fringe has a threat here, I think this is over.
Yeah. That being said, there is still this monk token, which isn't the end of the world. Trigger here, get a prowess, crash for 2. Everything you can do here. However, though, we still need, again, there needs to be more pressure applied here.
Yeah, definitely. And just a pass back. Interesting. Another,
Den.
there's an Ancient Den.
Smash.
The slow beats of the monk.
Yep, down to 12 here.
And there's the Solitude.
And here's a hard cast
Hardcast Solitude, which is going to eat the
Interestingly,
monk.
tapping is Volcanic Island.
Yes, yeah.
Oh,
Which
he needs to make sure that the Volcanic Island does not untap.
Yep, yeah, the Volk should be a...
Yeah, just making sure that gets done.
Yep, definitely.
Thank you also to Chaotic Bear for table spotting for us this round.
Yeah, definitely.
Gives us an intermediary if we catch something to go back to the players. Same thing if there's any questions or what things are targeted, stuff like that. Nico Robo, thank you so much for the sub.
Yeah, we appreciate that a ton. Thank you.
Thank you
the
very
Solitude
much.
now going to be able to get in and do some damage.
Yeah, and being a 3/2 lifelinker's actually really good here too.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Completely undo all the work that just happened there. Fetch down. I imagine this one's going to go get Basic Mountain at this point.
Yep.
And reason why you've already used the Meltdown, but you still want the Basic Mountain for more Prismatic endings.
Exactly.
So here's another question now.
Is just key.
Is if you have a bunch of Prismatic endings, do you just hit the LED hoping that they crack it?
You know what? Honestly, I don't think so.
I think that's also reasonable.
I think I wait. Because Cosmic Coil is still really hurt on mana here.
Yeah.
Plus now you've got 2 threats, and that Timeless Dragon, that's a big boy. That's a 5/5. So this game's going to be over real quick. Unless Cosmic Coil can do something next turn, I think this pretty much ends it.
Yeah. So this is a lot of damage coming across. Cosmic's down to 8. Still on 2 mana. Passes the turn back, and looks like he's scooping it up.
Wow.
Mr. Fringe taking down the first round there versus Cosmic Coil.
Yeah, so we got to see
blue-white control.
Blue-white control do blue-white control things. I don't think we actually saw Mr. Fringe do anything there that was out of the ordinary. I will say this, that Timeless Dragon is a fantastic threat. Being able to plane cycle, being able to eternalize, and then also just being a big 5/5. I think that's pretty bonkers. I really like that a lot. It gives you a ton of value, and the Solitudes Solitudes just showed why they are so good. They are able to be a backup source of Plowshares when you need them. You can hard cast them, and they become a lifelink beater. So
So Kai, yes, hello. To answer your question, Rax, our first seed, has 33 points this season. Will, our 7th seed, has 17 points this season. So somewhere in that ballpark is how many points you're probably going to need in order to qualify.
Yep, and you have you earn those by playing in the league. We have a monthly league that fires every single month. You get it put into pools of players between 6 to 8 players. We usually have anywhere between 6 to 8 pools. Sometimes there's a little bit more. It kind of fluctuates a little bit. And then you have our Saturday challenges as well that offer points. So
yeah, exactly. So the May league for this month's league has already fired off, so it's too late to join this month's league. However, next month in June, we will be having another one there.
Yeah, and it looks like I think we're going to be switching over to
looks like we're having some tech issues down there, so we're going to potentially need to fill in some time here.
Yeah, not a problem. I think that was the only match that we had still going, correct?
We still have Will versus the Eternally Surprised going on to game 3 now. It looks like Will managed to square up around the second game there.
Very cool, very cool. It would have been nice for us to be able to see that Reanimator versus the Mono Black World Gorder Dragon. So
yeah, absolutely. So we'll just have to try and make do with what we can there. But as far as the season here goes, a lot of these players have been playing different decks for this type of event. Rax brought Blue-Red Delver to the previous Invitational. Rax has actually won a couple events this time around on specifically Yori on Death and Taxes. Rax is a very proficient Death and Taxes pilot and is very well known for playing the Blue-Red Delver style decks, for playing Sneak and Show specifically, and also for Death and Taxes.
Yes, absolutely. So Rax has got a lot of different, a lot of format knowledge when it comes to those 3 decks in particular. That gives you a lot of information when you're looking at metagame wise, because they play on such different axes that it's really like your combo deck, your tempo deck, and then your grindy / somewhat prisony aggro deck. So
Yeah, exactly. Um,
And Dr. Leo's in chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. For those of you guys that may
yeah,
not know, the MTGPL has been a server that's been around for a little over 2 years now. Um,
yeah.
and Dr. Leo is actually now the owner of the MTGPL. That ownership changed about 2 months ago. So we're very, very proud to have Dr. Leo running the helm now. So welcome in,
Yes.
my friend.
And special thank you to Rad Hazard, who kept the ship running before that time. Rad Hazard has since become so busy with life that he
Yeah.
opted to step back, leave it in all of our hands here, which is very good. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for all that you've done for creating this server and giving all of us a place to play Legacy in the way it was intended with paper cards.
Very, very true. Very, very true. But yeah, Red spent a lot of time, a lot of some games playing against Rad. It was a good time. But we were very, very proud to have Dr. Leo leading us. So it looks
Yeah.
like so Eternally right now is starting off with a fast hand game 3. Game 2 will started with Land, Dark Ritual, and Tomb into Exhume, and then game
Yeah,
3
that'll do
Eternally
it.
starts with Land, Dark Ritual, and Tomb Reanimate. So so yeah, it looks like this one may be over already having to reanimate, so that way it protects your butt from your opponent's reanimate. So
Yeah, absolutely. So another thing here of note too, when you look at the bracket that's up on screen here,
Mhm.
so Rax is going to move down all the way to the bottom of the bracket there.
Right.
And the reason why we do that is because we're trying to eliminate matches. So, or eliminate rematches, so to say, because if Rax moves down into the top spot and then Tensai moves down next round to the top spot, Rax will
They
play
would
Tensai again immediately.
right.
So for this round only, round 2, Rax is going to move to the very bottom spot on the lower bracket.
Yep.
Cosmic Coil is going to move down to the one as well. So Rax will be versus Cosmic Coil for this next round. Tensai will be versus Mr. Fringe. And then we're going to have Socrates moving down to the third spot below that. And then Socrates will be playing the loser between Eternally Surprised and Will. And then the winner of that match will go on to play Malfi as well.
Yep. Absolutely. So our
Yeah.
next round, we will see Tensai versus either Eternally Surprised or Will.
No, Tensai will be versus
Tensai will
Mr.
be
Fringe.
Mr. Fringe. Yes.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yes. Perfect.
There we go.
Okay,
Now we've got an
thank
upgraded
you.
bracket. There we go.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like we just had. Did that result come in for sure?
Yeah, is that 100%? Because right now
I'm
it's
just
showing.
making sure. We just saw a new bracket here, and we're
Yep.
just making sure and clarifying if that is 100%. Because as far as we know, that match is still ongoing here.
Okay, that is not accurate.
Yeah, just
Oh,
getting both
okay.
ready. Okay, perfect.
Okay.
So Chaotic
yeah.
Bear is helping us out. Chaotic Bear is helping us out with generating up the brackets. Thank you so much for all that you do.
Right. Yeah, so this will be interesting. Let's take a look at Tensai's list, since we know Tensai is going to be coming into the next round. Some of you guys may not be familiar with Cephalid Breakfast. Cephalid Breakfast is kind of an old horse in the stable. However, got a lot more fuel once Thassa's Oracle was printed, which, I mean, so many other decks that have done so as well. For those of you that may not be familiar with the combo Prez, what in this Esper Stoneblade / Cephalid Breakfast deck, what's going on here? What are they looking to do, and how do they do it?
Yeah, so the way that this combo works, and this is actually a good thing to be able to explain now because this combo is kind of convoluted. What you're trying to do is it is based around the card called Cephalid Illusionist,
Yes.
which is a 4 of in this deck. And whenever Cephalid Illusionist becomes the copy or becomes the target of a spell or ability, you put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard. So what this is trying to do is it is trying to use cards like Nomad's Encore, which has a ability that can be activated for free, and the next damage, or the next 1 damage that would be dealt to another target creature you control, is dealt to Nomad's Encore instead. And so what
Correct.
you do is you use that, or the equipment card Shuko, which has an equip cost of 0, to continuously target Cephalid Illusionist in order to mill 3 cards over at a time. And then with that, what it'll do is that with those 3 cards going over, you're slowly milling your deck out in order to get it down so that way you can dread return a Thassa's Oracle. So this deck has the Narcomoebas, it's got Cabal Therapies, which is, in my opinion, the super smart thing about the way that this deck moves, is that it looks like we finally did get a result, and Internally Surprised did take Will down.
Yeah, so we
It
will
looks
see
like.
Mono Black World Gorger move forward in the top, and then the one Reanimator deck will fall to the bottom bracket here.
Yeah, exactly. And you see what I mean here about the inverse, where Rax is at the top on the upper bracket and then immediately moves to the bottom
To
of
the
the lower
bottom.
bracket there. And
And
the
then after
reason
this
why is
round,
because we
it'll
don't
go.
want Rax to play against Tensai here if Tensai moves down. So
Yep.
yeah, this round here, the next round, everyone will be moving down in the proper order. If you're at the top of the top bracket, you'll be moving down to the top of the lower bracket, and so on. Just to go back to Tensai's combo though here, one of the things I really, really like about this is the fact that with it milling over 3 cards at a time and you can just stop every 3 cards, is the fact that it allows you to mill over a small portion of your deck, use a Cabal Therapy to check if the coast is clear, and then if it is, continue going.
And
which
this is where
super valuable.
Exactly. And this is where Cephalid Breakfast players really excel, because Cabal Therapy is a card that you are 100% rewarded on hand knowledge, format knowledge, and metagame. Being able to snipe with a Cabal Therapy is fantastic. It's not like a Thoughtseize. You're paying that 2 life to be able to see first. You name, then go. And Cabal Therapy players, or players that are prolific or proficient with Cabal Therapy, are absolutely brutal to play against, because you want to hide as much information as you can. In some of these decks, you cannot hide that information anymore. So
yeah, and the other thing as well, I really like the way Tensai's taken this list with the Stoneblade package as well. It gives you a way to play a fair game of Magic. If like
Agreed.
say for example your opponent just starts off on a Leyline of the Void, you're like, well, okay, I guess I'm not comboing this game. I guess I'll just have to kill you with equipment.
Yeah, and having the Culture Complete is actually such a good finisher for this deck.
Actually, it is there. It's down in the bottom by the Dread Return. Okay, I was going to say, I don't see it there. I see a Shuko and an Umazao's GT. There's the Culture Complete as well. Culture Complete is a very fast clock.
Yeah, absolutely. So this Culture Complete being printed literally just gave Cephalid Breakfast a whole nother angle, an actually very good equipment to be able to just knock somebody down very quickly. So being able to pivot is very, very important. Especially, I mean, that you can equip that to a Narcomoeba if need to. I mean, it doesn't matter. It goes on anything if need be. So
yeah, for sure. And yeah, another thing too that I have played against this deck and lost to a lot, Grand Abolisher.
Oh yeah. Grand Abolisher just says you don't get to play on my turn. Yeah.
Yeah. So if Grand Abolisher lands, Tensai casts a Shuko, and the game's over.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Cast spells or activate abilities.
Right. So yeah. So yeah, it looks like us going into round 2. If we can pull up the bracket again, just to give everybody another final look at what we've got. This is going to be really interesting because we've got Malphion Hot Wheels versus Eternally Surprised on Mono Black World Gorger. That's going to be one hell of a match. This Tensai and blue white control deck with Mr. Fringe is going to be really, really good, because this Esper Stoneblade, this deck can grind. I feel can grind a little bit better than the Bomberman deck can. So it should be really, really interesting on how Mr. Fringe is going to have to attack that. So.
Yeah, definitely. We also have Socrates on Fastest Lash versus Will on Reanimator, and then Cosmic Coil on Bomberman versus Rex on Sneak and Show. So we will find out what happens here, and we will be back shortly for round number 2. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thanks, everyone.